My aunt, who ran the daycare, subtly tapped out a message in Morse code. Take the silent one today before the children were whisked away for special learning time. I played naive, biding my time until I had evidence. Now 43 victims have found justice, and my aunt is behind bars for life. The 911 operator picked up on the second ring. My voice trembled as I tried to explain what I'd uncovered. Margaret must have sensed my unease because she started walking toward me, her fingers drumming against her leg. I quickly stuffed the camera back into the bag and stood, forcing a cheerful grin. "Just checking on Lily," I said brightly, my pulse racing so fast I thought my chest might explode. Margaret's eyes sharpened, but before she could reply, the front door swung open. 2 police officers entered, responding to my call. Parents picking up their kids froze, staring. Margaret slipped into her caring persona, her face a mask of concern. "Officers, is something wrong?" she asked, rushing toward them, positioning herself between them and the back room where Mr. Tate had taken the children. My hands shook as I pointed to the camera bag. "The proof is in there." "Images of children, horrible images," I said. Margaret's face paled briefly before she regained control. "Oh my, what is she talking about?" she said, pulling out her wallet to display her credentials and certifications. The walls were adorned with plaques and gratitude letters from families. "I've operated this daycare for 15 years without a single issue," she said. Mr. Tate emerged from the restroom, adjusting his tie. He handed the officers business cards with steady hands. "I'm a certified children's photographer, been shooting school pictures for 2 decades. This young woman interrupted our session and frightened the kids." The officers exchanged glances. The taller one studied the card while the shorter one turned to me. "Miss, we need reasonable grounds to search someone's property without permission. Did you actually see inappropriate images?" My mouth went dry. "Yes, I saw them on the camera. Please just check." Margaret spoke softly, her fingers tapping against her thigh in Morse code, foolish girl. "She's been struggling lately. Her boyfriend left her. Lives right next to her family. It's been tough." Parents began arriving for afternoon pickup, gathering near the entrance and murmuring. Some pulled out their phones. Margaret approached them, reassuring them it was a misunderstanding, her fingers continuing their coded message. "Ma'am, we can't search the camera without a warrant," the taller officer said. "You can file a formal report at the station." My phone, which had worked fine moments ago, suddenly went blank. I pressed the power button desperately. Nothing. The images I'd captured were locked inside. "See, she's clearly upset," Margaret said, patting a mother's arm. "Poor thing, I've been trying to support her through this." The officers took my details and left, advising me to file a report. Parents collected their children, casting wary glances my way. Margaret stood by the door, waving farewell to each family, her fingers relentlessly tapping insults. That night, my phone flickered back to life. A text from Margaret awaited. "Your services are no longer required at Tiny Hearts. Your final paycheck will be mailed." I tried to retrieve the photos I'd taken, but they were gone. My iCloud was wiped clean, even the deleted folder empty. My roommate mentioned her new boyfriend, Kyle, worked at a tech repair shop. He'd been asking odd questions about me. The next morning, my face was plastered across local Facebook groups. "Unstable worker falsely accuses cherished daycare owner." The post had hundreds of comments praising Margaret and labeling me a troublemaker. Some suggested I needed psychiatric help. My mother called within the hour. "What were you thinking?" she demanded. "Margaret's my sister. She's dedicated her life to kids. How could you do this to us?" I tried to explain, but she cut me off. "You've always envied her success. First, you can't keep a boyfriend, now you're sabotaging her business. I'm ashamed of you." The call ended. My own mother had chosen her sister over me. Over the next few days, my life unraveled. Parents who once thanked me for watching their kids now avoided me. The cashier at the grocery store, once chatty, barely looked at me. My landlord mentioned complaints about my instability. Then things escalated. I returned from a failed job interview to find my car sagging, 4 slashed tires. A note under the windshield wiper chilled me, Morse code neatly written, "Stop or else." I started noticing Margaret's car in my apartment complex's lot. She'd sit there for hours watching my building. When I tried to take photos for proof, my phone glitched inexplicably. 2 weeks after my firing, someone tapped my shoulder in the grocery store. It was Sarah, holding hands with her daughter, Lily. "Can we talk?" she whispered, glancing nervously around. "Not here, the cafe on Main Street in an hour." I almost didn't go. Trust was a luxury I couldn't afford, but something in her eyes convinced me. Sarah sat in the cafe's back corner, Lily coloring quietly beside her. Lily hasn't spoken since photo day, she said. She used to make noises, now nothing. I'm so sorry, I began, but she raised a hand. My son Ethan is in Scouts, he knows Morse code. She showed me a video on her phone. Lily was tapping on the table over and over, help me. I believe you, Sarah said. About what you saw, Lily won't let anyone near her camera. Screams if we try to take pictures. Over the next few days, we met secretly. Sarah connected me with other parents who'd noticed changes in their children. Jacob's grandfather reported unexplained bruises, dismissed as clumsiness due to his condition. Maria's sister, Ava, a tech whiz at an electronics store, helped recover some cached photos from my phone's memory. 3 former daycare workers reached out through Sarah. They'd seen things but were too scared to speak up. Margaret had influence everywhere. One had tried reporting her years ago and lost her teaching license on trumped-up charges. We learned Margaret had worked at 2 other daycares under slightly altered names, always leaving abruptly after misunderstandings. The pattern was consistent. Beloved caregiver, specializing in special needs kids, charging low rates. Then kids would act strangely, and anyone who questioned her faced ruin. Mr. Tate's real name was Gerald, Margaret's cousin from another state. His photography business was a front, but he was skilled at covering his tracks. They'd been at this for years. Our group grew, parents who'd withdrawn their kids shared stories, former workers provided details. Ava set up a secure cloud that auto-uploaded our findings. We were building a case, but we needed concrete proof. Then Margaret slipped up. She announced another photo day. She's destroying evidence, a former worker said. She always does one last session before moving on. We had one shot. Sarah sewed a tiny camera into Lily's favorite stuffed rabbit. Ava programmed it to upload directly to our secure server. Ethan created dummy memory cards with innocent family photos. The night before photo day, we reviewed the plan until every detail was perfect. I'd go to the daycare, claiming I'd forgotten something valuable. While Margaret was distracted, Ethan would swap the memory cards in Gerald's camera. I barely slept, jumping at every sound. Margaret's car had been parked outside my building all week. Photo day dawned gray and rainy. I sat in my car outside Tiny Hearts, hands trembling. Sarah texted that Lily was inside with her camera rabbit. Ethan was in position, pretending to wait for a scout meeting next door. I walked to the entrance, legs weak. Through the window, I saw Gerald setting up his gear while Margaret arranged kids for photos. My hand hovered over the doorknob. This was it. I pushed the door open, flashing a wide, clueless smile. Hi, Margaret. So sorry to interrupt, but I think I left my grandmother's bracelet in the staff room. It means a lot to me. Can I check quickly? Margaret's fingers tapped instantly, but I was prepared. I knew her true nature. Today, we'd stop her. Margaret's gaze darted to the staff room door, her fingers drumming. Clever try. She forced a smile. Of course, dear, but hurry, we're starting portraits soon. I rushed past her, shoes squeaking on the tile. Outside, I caught Ethan's eye. He nodded subtly. Phase 1 was underway. The staff room reeked of old coffee and bleach. I pretended to rummage through drawers, knocking over a stack of plastic cups for effect. The noise echoed. Everything okay? Margaret called, her tone sugary. Just clumsy me, I replied, channeling ditzy energy. Through the doorway, I saw Ethan slip inside, holding a juice box, feigning confusion. Is this the scout meeting place? He asked Gerald. Mom said it's nearby, but I'm lost. Gerald waved dismissively. Community center's next door, kid. Ethan stepped closer, tripping slightly. His juice box flew, splashing sticky liquid over Gerald's camera bag. Gerald cursed, stepping away to grab paper towels. Ethan's quick fingers swapped the memory cards. Margaret's head turned toward the noise, her fingers tapping. Something's off. She moved toward Ethan, but I emerged from the staff room, holding up a keychain I'd hidden there weeks ago. Found it, I announced loudly. Silly me, it was in my old locker. Margaret's attention split. Ethan backed toward the door, apologizing profusely. Gerald returned, grumbling about messy kids. I'll head out now, I said, inching toward the exit. Margaret's hand shot out, grabbing my wrist. Her grip was cold. Actually, why don't you stay and help with photo day? We could use you. Her other hand tapped, you're not leaving. Oh, I can't, I said, pulling back. I have a job interview in 20 minutes. Her grip tightened. Nonsense, the kids miss you. She guided me to the main room where parents were dropping off their children. See how happy they are? Some kids brightened at my sight. Little Jacob waddled over, arms outstretched. My heart ached. These innocents had no idea what was happening. Margaret released me but blocked the door. Gerald set up backdrops. Parents left, waving to their kids. Sarah lingered, adjusting Lily's hair. Lily clung to a rabbit. Sarah lingered, adjusting Lily's hair. Lily clung to a rabbit. Group photos first, Margaret clapped sharply. She arranged the kids in rows, her fingers tapping, keep her here. I helped position the younger ones, mind racing. Ethan had done his part, but I was trapped. Outside, I saw him texting furiously. Sarah mouthed, stay calm. Gerald took group shots, his professional facade intact. Then came the moment I dreaded. Individual portraits now, he said. Margaret chose 3 kids, always the same ones she'd tapped about, the quiet ones with overworked parents. I'll handle hair and clothing, she said, leading them to the back room. Gerald followed with his gear. Actually, I'm great with hair, I said, stepping forward. Parents loved my braids. Margaret's smile was sharp. How kind. But you can entertain the other kids, no disruptions. She led the trio away. I watched them vanish, my stomach twisting. For the next 15 minutes, I played games with the remaining kids, ears straining for sounds from the back room. Lily sat apart, rocking, tapping her rabbit. Scared, scared, scared. When the back room door opened, the 3 kids returned, subdued. One talkative girl curled up silently in a corner. Next group, Gerald called, selecting more kids. This continued for an hour, small groups disappearing, returning quieter, diminished. Margaret's fingers tapped, almost done. Then we handle her. My phone buzzed, get out now. She knows. Margaret stared at me, her eyes cold. She approached, heels clicking. You've been so helpful, she said loudly for the parents. Why don't you take a break outside? It wasn't a suggestion. She pulled me to the porch. Rain fell steadily. I know what you did, she whispered. Ethan's little act, the camera and Lily's rabbit. Did you think I was that foolish? My throat tightened. I don't know what you mean, she laughed coldly. The memory cards he swapped, empty. I keep the real ones on me. She patted her pocket. And the rabbit's camera, it's been sending to a dead server for an hour. The door opened. Kyle stepped out, holding my roommate's phone. Jammer's working. Nothing's uploading. Margaret continued. I've done this for 15 years. You're not the first do-gooder to try stopping me. You won't be the last. Those kids trust you, I said through clenched teeth. They're broken, she replied, tapping the word. Their parents pay me to watch their problems. I provide a service. Gerald records it. Everyone benefits. You're twisted. I'm practical, she snapped. Here's the deal. You leave town tonight. Forget what you think you saw, or things get messy. She stepped back. Choose. I thought of Sarah at the cafe, Ethan monitoring the server, Ava recovering data. Our plan was collapsing. Okay, I whispered. I'll go. Margaret smiled. Smart. Kyle will drive you to pack. 2 hours. I stopped. Why Morse code? Why tap your true thoughts? Her mask slipped briefly. Because no one notices. They see what they want, a saint, a caregiver. The tapping's my only truth. Kyle grabbed my arm, pulling me to his car. As we drove away, I saw Sarah's van across the street. Ethan's face appeared briefly in the window. They were still watching. Kyle watched me pack, his fingers tapping on the steering wheel. Stupid, stupid, stupid. He'd learned Morse code too. You know she's hurting kids, I said, zipping my suitcase. He shrugged. Not my concern. She pays well. How do you sleep at night? Easy, I think about the cash. He checked his watch. 1 hour, move it. I needed my laptop. It's in my car, I said. Kyle followed me to the parking lot. My car had new tires, courtesy of insurance. Under the spare tire, I found a small package. I palmed it while grabbing my laptop bag. Kyle was texting, distracted. The package contained a new memory card and a note. Real footage from Lily's rabbit. Margaret was wrong about the server. Get this to Detective Harris at the station. His son is autistic. My heart raced. They'd bypassed the jammer, likely with Ava's tech skills, but I had to escape Kyle. Back inside, I stalled, checking drawers. Kyle grew impatient, tapping his foot. Hurry up! I slipped into the bathroom, locking the door. He pounded on it. No tricks. 30 seconds. I turned on the faucet to mask the sound, opened the package, and hid the memory card in my shoe, flushing the packaging. I emerged, feigning defeat. Sorry, just scared. Kyle grabbed my suitcase and pushed me toward the door. Margaret's too lenient. I'd have dealt with you already. As we headed to his car, I saw 3 police cruisers pulling into the daycare lot. No sirens, no lights. Detective Harris's sedan led them. Kyle paled, texting Margaret frantically. Get in, he barked, but I ran toward the daycare. Kyle chased me, but I reached the entrance as Detective Harris showed his badge to Margaret. She stood frozen, her fingers still. Gerald was inching toward the back exit, camera bag in hand. "Detective, this woman's trespassing," Margaret said smoothly. "A disgruntled ex-employee harassing me." Kyle burst in. "She attacked me. I want charges filed." Detective Harris's face was unreadable. "Ma'am, we're here about a child endangerment report." I pulled the memory card from my shoe. "This has today's footage, hidden camera proof," Margaret laughed. "More lies. She's obsessed with ruining me." Detective Harris took the card. "We'll review it at the station." He nodded to his officers. "Secure all devices, no one leaves." Gerald bolted for the back door. Officers stopped him, his camera bag spilling memory cards across the floor. "Those are school portraits," Margaret insisted. But Lily screamed then, not just a scream, a word. "Wrong, wrong, wrong." She pointed at Margaret and Gerald, trembling. Sarah rushed in, holding her daughter. Lily buried her face in her mother's shoulder, repeating, "Wrong." Parents arrived, drawn by the police cars. Jacob's grandfather pushed through, holding a folder. "Detective, I have proof of unexplained injuries, photos, medical reports dismissed as accidents." More parents spoke up, stories of changed behaviors, sudden fears. "She's doing it," I said loudly. "The Morse code, she's calling you fools right now." Ethan appeared beside me. "I can translate, my scout troop taught me." He watched Margaret's fingers. "She's saying she'll ruin us all." Margaret's hands froze. She looked rattled. Detective Harris stepped closer. "Ma'am, come to the station for questioning." "This is absurd. I want my lawyer." "That's your right." He nodded to his officers. "Take her in, separate cars for her and Mr. Tate." As they led Margaret away, her fingers tapped. "You're finished." But I wasn't afraid anymore. The evidence was with the police. Parents were speaking out. The silence was broken. Kyle tried to slip away, but Alvar appeared with officers. "That's him. He hacked our phones, deleted evidence." They arrested him on the spot. My roommate later admitted she'd suspected Kyle and fed him false information. The daycare emptied. Parents held their children tightly. Crime scene tape went up. Evidence teams processed the back room. I stood on the porch, rain soaking me. Sarah approached, Lily in her arms. "Thank you for believing her," she said. Lily peeked at me, tapping hero. I broke down, sobbing. Sarah hugged me and we stood in the rain, 3 survivors of an unimaginable ordeal. The investigation took months. The memory card from Lily's rabbit held enough to bring federal charges. Gerald confessed for a lighter sentence, revealing 2 other states where they'd operated. Margaret maintained her innocence, even against video evidence, calling it a mistake. The jury didn't agree. 25 years without parole. Kyle got 5 for cybercrimes and conspiracy. He'd been deeply involved, targeting vulnerable families via social media. The daycare sat vacant, its once welcoming facade now ominous. But Sarah had a vision. She rallied investors, including affected families, and turned Tiny Hearts into a therapy center for traumatized children. They hired experts in play, art, and music therapy. I was asked to cut the ribbon at the opening. I hesitated. The building held dark memories, but Lily changed my mind. She was speaking more, making steady progress. At the opening, she stepped to the microphone. "This place helps kids, good place now." I cut the ribbon, tears streaming. The house filled with light and laughter. Children's drawings replaced Margaret's awards. I found my purpose, studying child psychology with a focus on trauma. I learned the signs I'd overlooked, the red flags clear in hindsight. Now I train daycare and school staff to spot abuse, listen to silent cries, and act when others turn away. I still use Morse code, tapping reminders during presentations. Stay alert. Protect them. Keep listening. Margaret was right. People see what they want. But I teach them to look deeper, question the too perfect caregivers who charge too little and smile too much. Every child helped is a victory. Every predator caught is justice. Sometimes I think of that torch in the sky years ago when my ex taught me Morse code to stay connected. Those dots and dashes saved lives. Now I teach them to kids as a game, a secret way to call for help. Parents learn the patterns. Teachers watch for them. Margaret's in prison, but others are out there, hiding behind kind masks, tapping their true thoughts. I'll keep listening, watching, protecting the vulnerable. That's what heroes do, even accidental ones who stumbled into their purpose. We stand between predators and their prey, hearing the silent screams, and we never stop fighting.